Right, the point of this section of the video is to show you how to take the Vario VERSA apart so you can replace the batteries. The reason why this is a little bit different than the norm, particularly on the Quartz watch, is because it is reversible and there are two movements. We have two crowns on this watch, one on either side for setting the different times. So what we're going to start with is we first have to remove the center unit by removing the two screws on either side of the case. And if you're going to do this sort of work, no, not any screwdriver is going to do. You need to use the right size screwdriver. So just please, please, please remember that if you're going to go down this road. This is the 200, that is a 2mm, the dark green for the Bergeon set. Note that there is some Loctite on these, so the first time you would undo them might be a little bit of gotta push a little bit, right? But just be careful not to slip with the screwdriver. Now we have this out of the case, we have on the silver side 4 screws in the corners. And this is where you have to be really careful because, you know, these are polished and the edges on this are polished. Like if you mess up a little bit, for example, if you mess up a little bit on this side, this is brushed, you can always take some Scotch-Brite and kind of wipe away any little mistakes you might make on this particular side of the case. But here we're talking about polished surfaces, so you're going to want to be really careful with these screws. Take your time, choose the right size for the screwdriver so that you don't damage these, because it'll just look bad, right, if this is not correct when you go to take the screws out and put them back in. So for these screws, I'm going to use the 160, that's the pink color, and that's 1.6mm, and hopefully you can see there, fits it exactly right. A little bit more thickness would be nice, but this will do. And I will suggest that just lightly undo each of the 4 and then go around and finish them off. When you're unscrewing or screwing things in on a watch, and there's sides to it, I like to make sure that it's a balanced approach for all kinds of reasons, but so I will lightly undo each of these and then I will finish them off. Alright, so I've removed the 4 screws from the front of the silver face, and then when I open this up, and there we see the Ronda movement. You can see it has 1 jewel, and the battery, in case you're wondering if you're wanting a replacement, is the SR616SW. Talk about compact, that's what we've got in there. So battery number 1 for one side, obviously just pop it out and then replace the battery and then screw this one back in if this is the one needing replaced. If it is the other side needing replaced, then you have 4 more screws to essentially remove the middle divider between the 2 movements, and that's the middle part of the case. And you can see there are 4 more screws here. So yeah, a lot of screws. So you get the 2 on the side of the case, the 4 on the front of the silver side to take the first movement and dial face off. And then if you need to get to the colored side, in this case blue for me, Then I need to remove these 4 screws to take off this center part to replace the battery on the other side. And this screw size is also the same, I think 1.6, so this will fit down in here perfectly as is, and then you can unscrew the other side and replace the battery. So that's how you replace the battery in the Vario VERSA. Hopefully you find this particular part of the video helpful.